Really briefly first. You know what? Draw a heart around this as far as I'm concerned, because I think it looks smashing. I love the lines on it. It's low, it's sleek. It's exactly what you would imagine that an EV SUV looks like. Do I think it looks like a maybe?
This is the LUCID Gravity 2025. This company is a new upstart, relatively a new upstart from the original guy who actually created those Teslas. He jumped ship, started his own company. This car is amazing. Right now, their stock is $2.27. Get some stock. You can use Cash App to buy the stock. If you don't know how to go traditionally to buy stock, you can actually buy the stock on Cash App. So don't waste time with this. Get it while it's new. Remember when Tesla first started out, it was the same thing. And most of these other big companies where people who invested in their stock literally became millionaires overnight. This is a perfect opportunity to get in on this thing. Let us proceed.
Be a minivan a little bit. Yeah, I'll say it. But I say that as a high compliment. It still has a nice boxy shape, but it looks really elegant. It has nice lines, thoughtful details, but not too much. I think maybe if you are going to say it's kind of got some minivan vibes, then this might be the most lethal minivan in the world today. Overall, the looks are a win for me. When it comes to design elements and the interior, I think the interior looks better than the exterior. From the leathers or the synthetic leathers that I dare you to even figure out which one is which, the colors that they choose, the fabrics, the designs, the patterns, the textures, the wood. This is sustainable walnut. Everything in here evokes a calm, peaceful, relaxing environment and energy. It's beautiful, it's luxurious, it's spot on. If I were to design furniture that I would want in my house, these would be the elements, the colors, the materials that I would want. Huge success. Didn't expect otherwise. I will tell you my favorite feature might be the Serenity screens. If everybody could just watch this ocean all day while driving, there's no more road rage.
Oh my God. The HVAC's going to be connected.
Oh my gosh, shut up. I need a breeze in front of me, just like blowing my hair back and a smell.
That's coming. Not the smell, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh, this is sick. When you're not zenning out, you will have things like wireless charging, wireless Apple CarPlay, sorry Android, your auto will show up soon, and you'll have a voice-activated Hey Lucid system so you can get frustrated at the world again, and your road rage, guaranteed, will return. I could do an entire video based on this 36-inch OLED screen. They've made so many changes and upgrades from the Lucid Air, and all of them so intentional, and I feel like they listened to my video because they addressed every problem that I had previously. The first thing that you will notice is this positioning of the steering wheel. It is a squircle design. It's taking me a little bit of time to get used to it, but if you're a 9 and 3 person, you're going to have no problems. What this does in a lower position is allows you a very clear view of this entire screen as you're driving. So you're no longer impeded by the steering wheel and having to kind of peek underneath it. Over here, you're going to get some of your key driving elements, your lights, your windshield wipers, which, by the way, my huge gripe about windshield wipers was also eliminated because you get this stock that you can just press and engage them. This is your kind of instrument gauge cluster. You do have a head-up display, which I don't have right now and I'm not using it, but it's very dynamic. And then you have your infotainment screen here. You do have an additional screen down here, which is going to be HVAC, other settings, and you can actually use both of these things in tandem. So if I want to have turn-by-turn instructions here, but have the big picture of the route navigation, I can do that here. It's actually super cool. I'm not going to go into this all right now, but what I will say is this that I think is fantastic. They have added a lot of really quick shortcut buttons, which I appreciate very much, for regen, for adjusting of your mirrors. And they've also given you these touch pads right here. You guys, these are made of glass. It's really beautiful. Taking a little bit of time to get used to also, but I think an effective way to interface, and it's not like that haptic stuff of Mercedes where it will kind of do stuff when you don't necessarily want it to. Again, a lot of improvements when it comes to the interior, how you interface with it as you're driving, and a lot of these are going to start showing up in the Air when they do upgrades to that. So I know I said that the doors don't slide, obviously not minivan, but oof. Will you look at how wide that door opens? Ingress, egress, all the gresses are going to be really easy getting people in and out of here. Second row, I mean, I have tons of room back here behind my seating position. It's fantastic. Plenty of headroom. The center seat also does not chintz. You're a little higher up just because you are. And then over on this second side, behind the passenger, again, if you have somebody a little bit taller, they've got tons of leg room up front, and I still have plenty of room. Feet under here. You can get like an option of a tray under here. Oh, right here. I can do some work. I can hang out, maybe have lunch. You guys, this is definitely more comfortable than Delta Airlines. But let's see about the third row. Getting into the third row is really simple. I mean, this seat comes forward quite a bit. And again, nice wide open door. I'm going to sit over here so you can see what it's like with this fully back. There's plenty of room back here. Honestly, there are vents. It's comfortable. It's lovely. I could definitely sit back here for a longer stint and be perfectly happy. Designers are going to get a lot of kudos from me with a lot of really innovative stuff. This, to me, I think is one of my favorite things. There is a little padded insert that you can put in here, so you can just pull right up to whatever it is that you want to pull up to and have a seat. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's really comfortable even without the padding. There's a cup holder here. There's a cup holder there. You can watch the game. You can do whatever you want. Watch the sunset. This is how you frunk, people. As far as EV specs go, this is an impressive vehicle. Range on this is 450 miles. That's a great number. Most gas-powered cars don't have that kind of range. It also can charge up to 400 kilowatts, which means when you do hit a 350 DC fast charger, depending on how that charger is operating, you can use all of that power. You can get up to 200 miles of range in 11 minutes. That is spectacular. As someone who's waited in line for a long time to get to a charger, I appreciate that. As far as having to wait in line for a charger, you're not probably going to have to because you have access to Tesla's supercharging network. You also can go to EA. It's likely that if you do...
You got access to Tesla's because the creator of this company was the original creator of the original Teslas. Let us proceed.
Own this, you're going to have charging at your house, which is always ideal. But do know that if you have a road trip coming up, there are a lot of places you're going to be able to hit, and it's not going to take you a long time to get back on the road and keep going.
Lucid have made vast improvements over the Air's battery technology. These batteries on the Gravity have more thermal capacity and don't need to precondition, even though you've got the ability to do so if desired.
The Gravity seats 7 It weighs 5,900 pounds, so this is not a delicate wallflower. But you guys, neither is it powered like a delicate wallflower. Max horsepower on this is 828 horsepower. Max torque, 909 pound-feet of torque. That's a tremendous amount of power. Now, depending on which drive mode you're in, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this later, you do not get access to all of that power in every single drive mode, nor do I think you need it. But all of that to say, when you're driving this around for many different reasons, I'm starting to feel like this is not as big a car as it first appears. When it comes to driving dynamics, there are really 3 B's that you need to think about: Bosch, Brembo, and Bilstein. They use a power electric steering system from Bosch that I've got to tell you, honestly, in some of the modes, you know, I love a heavy steering feel. In some of the modes, like in Sprint, it's almost too heavy for me. It feels like a workout. Definitely you feel like you're engaged to it. There's really nothing like totally natural feeling about this steering, but boy, it sure is effective. And like I said, you're gonna feel your muscles when you're doing it. The Gravity has monster brakes on it. And of course it has regenerative settings. It has 3 of them. The first is off completely, and it's fine. Again, doesn't, feel supernatural, but you don't get any of that kind of rolling resistance. In standard, I actually think it's pretty substantial. You pull your foot off the throttle and it instantly grabs in a fairly heavy way. So when you re-engage the throttle, your foot is really kind of feeling like it's doing some work. And then when you flip into high, holy smokes, it's true one pedal driving, 100%. And it really does bite super fast as soon as you pull your foot off the throttle. So 3 very distinctive regenerative settings depending on how it is that you want to drive in any given situation. And then there's Bilsteins, and those are the adaptive dampers that Lucid are using on the air suspension, which I am actually driving right now. Honestly, the way this thing rides and handles is pretty remarkable for something that's this big and has this much weight and size. I am really enjoying this ride. I'm tipping my hat to Lucid for putting us on roads that are not smooth as glass. There's a lot of imperfections in this road in particular, this section, which is very curvy. And I'm in smooth right now. It is very comfortable in eating everything up. If I go into Swift, it changes the ride height for me, so it lowers a little bit. It firms up a tiny bit. It's not that distinctive. You have to really get into Sprint in order to really feel a substantial difference in the way that the ride feels as far as comfort goes. But it also doesn't go to that extreme that, say, like the Lucid Sapphire does, where you're kind of bouncing all over the road. You still have a tremendous amount of control as you're driving around these turns, and you're kind of blowing out of them with that full 909 pound-feet of torque, which is insane to me. Everything about the way that you are driving this car, it feels taut and composed and just it's so intentional. It's amazing. I'm guessing that the year and a half that they had to spend with this thing and dial it in was well used time. I do have what is called the dynamic handling package on this particular car, which includes rear wheel steering. And again, when you're driving something this big and you have that extra steering in the rear, it really does make this car feel a whole lot smaller. There have been a couple of times around some of these roads where I will look back into the rear view mirror and just kind of remind myself that I'm driving something this big with its power, with its dynamics, with its amazing control, its quickness. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this might be like the perfect ideal for a camera car. So forget about your Porsche Cayenne, paint this thing matte black, put your camera operator in the front seat, put your director, your producer, a couple of their friends in here, because and a Russian arm on the top, of course, but under the right hands, like this thing could 100% keep up with anything out there. And of course you have all-wheel drive, so you could go off-road and you could do that stuff too on a dirt road and follow some things. A couple of things on the Lynn Woodward wish list. I'm having a hard time coming up with a comfortable seating position for myself. The seat is very comfortable, but as far as the positioning of it, I'm struggling a little bit. I wish the seat kind of tilted down a little bit more. I feel like I am very close to the front of the steering wheel in order for my sort of short legs to be able to rest on the ground when I'm hitting the throttle. So I'm struggling with that. I have no doubt that I would be able to get a comfortable seating position if this were my vehicle. The other thing that is extremely distracting is this. The A-pillar is very chunky and thick, obviously for safety reasons, so they're not going to change this or fix it. But especially when I'm driving around turns in a canyon or such, I really am having to kind of bob and weave a little bit to keep my eyes up looking at where I'm heading. Mostly it's on this side, haven't experienced it mostly on that side. Otherwise, as far as visibility goes, I have zero complaints because either shoulder, I have clear visibility. This, though, will take some getting used to if you're taking it on a canyon, or even if you're just driving and making a left-hand turn. There could be something hiding behind this. Beware. The Gravity also has a terrain mode, so you can do a little bit of off-roading in this thing. What makes it special and able to do that is, you guys, that air suspension and its ride height. It can get as low as 4 inches off the ground, but you can also get up to 9.3 inches of ground clearance. The G-Wagon has 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Yeah, the wheelbase is probably a little bit longer here, but as you know, ground clearance is what is really going to help you get over some obstacles. They do have a torque vectoring system. It is both motor and brake based, essentially giving you like a virtual locking rear differential. I don't know. I feel like that all sounds like stuff that's going to allow you to have some adventures off-road in this thing as well. So now, autocross. Here we go. Oh man. Professional driver closed course. Ha 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 ha. We'll see how pro. So I will say this, driving on this little rally course, this A-pillar, like I said before, which I think is a little thick and definitely hampers front visibility, really hard when you're trying to sight turns in this. So I don't know. I think if you're gonna start a Lucid rally team, they might want to address something with that A-pillar. Also, the other thing I'm going to say is the seating position here. It is a little bit difficult for me. So as someone with shorter legs, I would say that I would love to see some alternatives, some adjustments that Lucid could make in order to accommodate a smaller statured driver a little bit better. Oh, by the way, this tows too. Like, you can tow up to 6,000 pounds in this, which also is really impressive. Come on, what doesn't it do? It doesn't make me a pizza. Make me a pizza. Let's talk about safety for a quick second. This obviously is equipped with every kind of safety feature you could possibly imagine. Brake now? Why? Well, so much safety that it kind of overextended itself. But as I was saying, it's got 12 cameras on it. It's got radar. It's got LiDAR. So you are set up for the coming autonomous juggernaut that is whatever it is that we're coming into. But as far as how they operate, when you're using adaptive cruise control, it's very smooth, kind of keeping you within the lanes. They are not at a level 2 quite yet, which means hands-free but eyes up. They are getting there, and that one is actually going to include information not just on 3 rows of traffic, but on 5. So it's going to be very extensive, as well as having a lane changing assist that you can do hands-free. They're not there yet, but when they will be soon. They will just shoot that to you in an over-the-air update. Same thing goes for level 3, which is hands off, eyes down, or wherever you want your eyeballs to be. So again, the beauty of vehicles now, especially EVs, are them being able to change basically the entire makeup and dynamic of the car. So look for those to come.
The starting price on the Gravity Grand Touring is